guys.
Hi.
Hi, Abby. Nanette's daughter, my favorite child. I just want to thank you guys all for coming for the past couple days and through this whole journey since my mom was diagnosed. And through all this, my friends, my family, everyone. And I'm going to try to keep as composed as I can while I read this. So bear with me. So when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I remember waking up to my mom kissing me on the cheek in the morning, and then I'd start to cry hysterically when I realized she was leaving me for work. No matter how many times Tata told me, I'll see her later, I didn't feel any better until I got to see her back home. Now I'm 24 years old, and still a mommy's girl. Even though I know she's in a much better place now, a much better home, I still can't help but feel so sad. And she was more than just my mom, because she played so many roles in my life. She was my dad. She was my confidant, my provider, and my best friend. I never felt lonely, or I never felt like I was missing anything in my life, because her love, her unconditional love, was always enough. Sorry, my allergies acting. I'm going to miss so many things about her, like her love for music. She was the reason why my brother and I know so many oldies, like Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, Carpenters, Cascades, Frankie Valli, and even the old Tagalog singers like Rico J. Puno, DST, Eddie Valera. I'm going to miss the way she danced, because she was an awesome dancer. She had an infamous dance with the way she moved her arms, her neck, her cha-cha, her facial expressions, and she was always life of the party. I'm going to miss the way she couldn't breathe when she would tell a funny story. She could never complete the story because she was laughing so hard. And then how she would make this sound whenever my brother and I would ignore her. And she always had some kind of misinformation when she would tell stories. Like when I got my first job at Fuddruckers, the hamburger place, she congratulated me. And of course she tells her best friend in the family, Tita Juliet. And she goes, Tita Juliet calls me and goes, "Congratulations on your first job. So can we get a discount at Starbucks?" She also picked up the most ridiculous sayings from her friends. I don't know if this is from Tita Neil or from Tita Chris, but when I asked her if I could go on a cruise to the Bahamas with my friends, she said, "Sure, Nini. Go have fun. Life is too short, so make it longer." I'm going to miss the way she called me Nini, because I knew if she didn't call me Nini or Abby, I knew I was in trouble. It was usually because of my credit card. I'm going to miss the way she made me sinigang, because she would make it extra sour for me, and cook me tortang talong on the side. And she was always the loudest and most joyous person during the holidays. She would get so excited as the weather got colder, and would start singing Christmas songs by October, and Christmas shopping by September. Every Christmas morning, my family gets together after church in the morning and opens presents. Tita Juliet always plays Santa Claus and calls out names and gives out the presents. My mom usually gave more gifts than she received, but she was always the loudest and happiest whenever Tita Juliet would call her name to get her present. Christmas definitely won't be the same without her this year. She was always thinking about and praying for others. She was so selfless and thoughtful. And even though she's a little suplada, which is probably where I get it from, she was very loving, a caring mom, Mima, sister, friend and daughter. Even when she was sick, she would always check on her friends and other family members to see how they were doing. It's part of the reason why she's so popular and loved by so many. We would always get phone calls from all over the world. The Philippines, from Australia, Tita Susan, Dubai, her best friend, Tita Marvin, California, all the Fernandez family, Esparteros, and New Jersey. When we went to the Philippines together, it was just my mom and me. I was about 11 years old. And we rode in the Jeep together to go to that mall with the grocery store on the very bottom. I think it's called Robinson or SM. I don't remember.
Shumart.
Shumart, yeah. And so while we were on the Jeep, she met this lady, and they just got to talking and making cuento. And then I noticed the lady was writing down her name, her number, and her address on a piece of paper. And my mom paid for her ride, the lady's ride and ours. And as we left to the grocery store, I realized that she was buying more food and more those notebooks and pencil cases and crayons and stuff from the grocery store. And I didn't think anything of it because I thought it was just pasalubong for others in the neighborhood. And then when we took the taxi home, she gave the piece of paper to the taxi driver, and we ended up going to that lady's house. It turns out all that food and school supplies was for that lady because she was raising those 3 children on her own. I'm sure she didn't share that story with many people, but it just shows how kind and loving and giving her heart is with no expectations. And I can only hope I can be half the woman she was. I'll never forget my 19th birthday. It was my freshman year at UT Austin, and she called to greet me. She started crying when she told me how blessed she is to have a daughter like me, and how proud she is of me. I remember it making me so happy to hear that because all I ever wanted was to make my mom proud. Once I walked off stage at my college graduation, I saw her on the side holding Evan, just screaming my name with tears of joy. And then when I went to greet her outside the auditorium, she gave me the biggest hug, and again told me how proud she is of me. She advised me so many things throughout the years. But there's one thing I'll always remember because it just reminded me of how strong and faithful my mom was. She said to me, when she was first diagnosed, we went to go eat to dinner, and she said, "Nini, minsan ganyan lang talaga ang buhay. Mararanasan mo ang hirap. Minsan maaapi ka. Pero maging matatag ka. Sige ka lang. Dahil di ka pababayaan ng Diyos. Dahil kahit kailan, hindi niya ako iwanan." She said sometimes life is just like that. You go through hardships, people treat you badly, but be strong and keep going, because God will never neglect you, like He's never neglected you. She didn't only advise these words, but lived by them as well. She was a fighter all her life, and always surpassed the obstacles that came her way. And in her last few weeks, when she could still talk, she told me to prepare myself, because you just never know what God's plan is. And I asked her, "Mommy, anong gagawin ko pag iniwanan mo na ako? What am I going to do when you leave me?" And she said, "Hindi naman kita iiwanan eh." She said, "I won't leave you. I'll watch over you." And for the first time in a long time, I let my mom see me cry. I tried to stay so strong for her through this all, but imagining my life without her was just so unbearable. I'm so proud and blessed to call her my mom, and I promise to love and take care of Evan and Kuya, because I know everybody knows it. My brother needs some guidance. And I hope I continue to make her proud with my future endeavors and accomplishments. I love you, Mom. You've always been the best. I love you forever. I'll miss you always, and I'll be seeing you. Before I forget, I just want to say some thank yous. I want to thank all of you guys again for coming for the past days and past few days and coming visiting us with all your love and your support. I want to thank MD Anderson, all the staff, the doctors there, for not just giving us one-of-a-kind treatment to my mom, but to my family and friends as well. I want to thank everyone who came from out of town, all the Fernandez, San Diego, El Paso, California, and all my friends. Sally came all the way from New York. Jen came all the way from Baltimore. My friend Emily came all the way from Austin just to be with me through this time. I want to thank all of Dr. Juliet's beautiful, wonderful nurses from Memorial Hermann ICU, to Juliet, to Eka, to Meredith. And I want to thank all my friends, all the way here on the left side, for always being there with me through this all from the very beginning. They never waited on me to ask for help. They always just bombarded me with their love and their support, food, text messages, everything. They showed up at the hospital or at home, ready to feed and comfort me. My mom all loves you, and I'm so blessed to call you guys my second family. And last but not least, I want to thank my wonderful, crazy, beautiful family right here. I can't imagine I've gone through this past year and a half without your love and your support. My mom always spoke so proudly of her siblings, not just for their accomplishments, but for their kind hearts and generosity. To Juliet, for being my second mom, for being with me through all the appointments, all the paperwork, cleaning the house. Tito Lito for always driving us. And of course, Tito Roger for being such an amazing man. For being like a father figure to my brother and me. And for always taking care of all the paperwork and doing the artwork and all of that. And for all you guys for treating us like your second children. I hope that wasn't too much for you all. I love you, and my brother's gonna have some notes as well.